Hey there everybody, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. It's great to see you again. So this is the follow-up video to the great video Shootout, and it was really fruitful in terms of narrowing my focus on getting my video, what I need to do to get that to happen. I got the fireplace going in honor of Christmas and the holiday season, so there's the Yule fire for your video entertainment for this video. And a brief side note, the ZFC does not play nice with UHS-2 memory cards. This is a Sony mid-grade, and it's not a counterfeit. It's worked great in all my other cameras. Works great in my Z6II, Z7II. It's the camera cards I use. But I tried to use it in the ZFC, and things did not work out well. I'll put it to you that way. What a shame, because these are only 128 gigabyte cards I've got. All my UHS-1 cards, which I have to use for the ZFC, are 64 gigs. That's a bummer. I may have to buy some 128 gig UHS-1 cards. Okay, so for the video yesterday, camera. So first of all, let me tell you this, okay? I'm not a videographer. I never have been. It's not a passion of mine. It's an evil necessity for what I'm doing on YouTube. And no wonder Thomas Eaton, other than the fact that, you know, also his stuff is interesting and he's charismatic, the guy is a professional videographer. So, of course, his videos are good, right? I mean, that's what he went to university for, and that's what he did professionally before he found photography. So, yeah, I mean, you know, that talk about having a leg up, good for him. It's not my thing. So what I want from my video camera is I want the least amount of hassle. I want to shoot the video equivalent of JPEGs. I don't want to process, I don't want N-log, C-log, Q-log, D-log, E-I-E-I-O log. I don't want to color grade anything. I don't even know how to do that. I want it straight out of the camera, and I want it to be good. And that's it. And I want the autofocus to work. I want the white balance to work. I want the auto white balance to work. I want the auto exposure to work. Okay? So, because really, and thinking back over the last year, I've been wondering, why has my photography become so difficult? And the answer there is because I've added the video component to it. Not only do I have to look and be creative and get creative shots, but I also have to videography, take video of me doing it. And it's really like, yeah. So yeah. So having said that, that's what I'm on about, and that's what these videos are all about. So, you know, I want the JPEG equivalent of video, either the flat profile or the Turner profile or the standard profile, whatever gets me the best looking video straight out of camera. Okay, so camera, without further ado, camera A was the Z6II with the 35mm ZS 1.8, set to 1.8. Auto white balance, auto exposure, and auto focus. And I think it did great. And I think it's the best looking video of the bunch except for the color. The problem with camera 1, the problem with camera A with the Z6II was, compared to the others, the skin tones were really red. It was really hot. I don't know if that was the white balance or the flat profile or the way the sensor reacts. I don't know. Okay, I actually desaturated it a little bit, and that was what I did to tweak that video. It looked a little bit better. But in terms of like, you know, that three-dimensionality and the sharpness, that was the best of the bunch in my opinion. Okay, camera B was the Fuji X-T3 with the 18 to 55 2.8 to f4 set to 23 millimeters, which is about 35mm equivalent in full frame. And there was the Turner profile. The Z6II was the flat profile, and I think, and that was a mistake because I always thought the flat profile needed more color. I bumped the saturation up +1, I think. So that I learned that's a mistake. Okay, camera B on my calibrated monitor, the video looked horrible compared to the other two. The Turner profile was horrible. It was more contrasty than either of the Nikons. But the skin tones, I look like a vampire. Now, I don't know what y'all looking at it. The people who picked camera B to be the best looking video, I guess you like the Twilight movies. I don't know what to tell you. It did look better when I graded it a bit, and added some color at the end. That was the, I pointed that out. I think that looked like decent video, okay? And it was usable, there's no question about that. But straight out of camera, the Eterna profile looked the worst to me, my opinion. The real problem with the Fuji cameras over the, or the XT3 over the, and the XT4 was the same way, and the XS10 was the same way, over the Nikons is the autofocus auto white balance and auto exposure don't work. Okay, if I shoot a Fuji camera for video, it's not set everything to auto, it's set the manual exposure, manual white balance, and manual focus if I want to be 100% sure I'm going to get the video. Now that's a huge bummer. That's like, compared to the Nikon ZFC or the Nikon Z6II, yeah, that's a deal breaker. Sorry. Like I said, I don't want to be screwing around with video. I just want to take the video and drive on. And so yeah, so camera C was the ZFC, and that was the 16 to 50 kit lens at 23 millimeter wide open, which is like f4 point something. And that was the flat profile. And the problem there was, and what's interesting was the same flat profile, same settings. I think I bumped the saturation +1. It was yellow, and that was a problem. So, but the autofocus worked, white balance worked, and auto exposure worked fine. So, and it had the flippy ISO screen. It was the easiest camera to use to get video in the field. And what also is interesting about that is color is negotiable. Okay, color, there's picture controls, and I just need to fool around and find the right one and what I like and to get the best I can out of the thing. And that's what I'm doing right now. Right now I got the standard picture control, which I tweaked with my best guesses. It's looking a little yellow, I'm looking a little vampiric there, but I'm trying. So I'm going to be experimenting with picture controls on my videos, and soon, within a couple of videos, I'll have it all dialed in on the Nikons, and it'll look great straight out of camera, unless it's environmentally specific. And in that case, I'm not going to go, oh, well, maybe eventually in a year or two I'll learn, like, oh, I've got this kind of light, I need this kind of picture control. Maybe. What I might do is just go back to the flat profile and see where we go from there. But anyway, the point is color is negotiable. There's a lot of color options for setting your picture controls in your Nikon cameras. You can get it to look pretty much any way you want straight out of camera. You just have to figure out what they are. What's not negotiable is if the autofocus doesn't work. Like, there's nothing I can do to make the autofocus work if it doesn't work. There's nothing I can do to keep the auto exposure from surging if it surges. Okay? If the auto exposure doesn't work, what I have to do then is set a manual exposure. If the white balance doesn't work, the auto white balance doesn't work, I have to set a manual white balance. If the if the autofocus doesn't work, I need to set a manual. I need to set the focus manually. So the Fuji's kind of out for speed and usability, unfortunately. And the Nikons are great. So one of the other takeaways was that the Z6II didn't absolutely leap out and everybody went, ooh, that's the one. Okay, which is interesting. I mean, quite a few people actually preferred it, but it wasn't like heads or tails above the other two. Fascinating. Okay, and that tells me that I can make the ZFC work. All right. I mean, if I really want to get crazy, I can spend $900 right now on sale and get the 24 millimeter 1.8 and stick it on the ZFC. Right, and that would give me my 35 millimeter focal length that I like. For in the field, actually, the 20 would be the way to go, but that's a big lens. That's a heavy lens, too. I'm not sure I want to, I mean, I think the 16 to 50 is going to be just fine once I dial in the color profile properly. So there it is. Very, very useful and educational video for me. I hope it was interesting for you guys. And like I said, I'm looking really yellow here on this screen, but I don't judge it until it's up on this screen over here. But if it's off, I mean, the information's still the same. Remember, I'm going to be tweaking the color as we go. You know, for the picture profiles and sooner or later I'll dial it in pretty quick, I would think. There it is. Thanks for watching. Have a great one. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, but please subscribe. That helps my channel out tremendously, and it's why I'm doing what I'm doing, really. So, well, it keeps me doing what I'm doing. So anyway, have a great one. We'll see you out there, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon. Bye.